Good morning, all. Can we a little louder? Good morning, fellows Toastmasters and guests. Warm welcome to Whitefield Toastmasters 24th meeting. So I am Revati. Today I'll be Today I'll be sergeant at arms for this meeting. First, I will reiterate the mission of Toastmasters. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a higher self-confidence and personal growth. Before we begin, I have a few ground rules to share. Please switch off or keep your mobile in silent. I'll give 5 seconds for you to do. And please do not interrupt while a speaker is talking, or please do not move around while speech is going on. And please refrain from using taboo words like sex, religion, and politics. And last but very important, support the speakers with warm smile and claps. For everyone's benefit, we have restroom in the ground floor to the left, and we have a water bottle. And so now I would request all of you to join in welcoming our presiding officer, who has a great life concept, which I first I come to know. It was something. I felt like it is like law of conservation of energy. So you get in touch with him to get the concept. I'm not going to say it right now. Who has studied in MIT of Karnataka? Any of you know MIT of Karnataka? We have MIT of Tamil Nadu and we have MIT of Karnataka. He has studied in Manipal, and he's an iOS engineer and working for Gojek. Please welcome Rishabh.
Good morning, everyone. Early today? Good morning, everyone. I welcome Toastmasters and guests who have come here on a Sunday morning to be here with us. With the stroke of this gavel, I would now like to officially start the meeting number 24. While I was wondering about the theme of today's meeting, I pondered and went back to my internship days. I was an Android developer in a small company of 20 people in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Europe. When I was walking down the streets, I had met across few people who were jaywalking and told me not to be there or to go back to my own country. Thankfully, my colleague was there with me, who showed true spirit of allyship and withstand, and he reverted back to those people to undo what had already been done. I felt safe when I was there with him in a foreign country. Such is the spirit of our club here in Toastmasters. We have a safe space here where people can be vulnerable and can be a better speaker every day. The feedbacks that are given to us not only improves us and uplifts us, but also makes us grow together. There are few announcements that I would like to do at the end of this meeting with the voting results. Now, I would like to introduce you to the Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster of the Day is a master of ceremonies who starts the meeting and ends it. He goes on with the start and completes it till the end. Have you ever had a friend who you thought could never get angry? Well, the Toastmaster of the Day, I think, can never get angry. He loves to learn new things and make a bigger picture out of it. In his free time, he likes to hang out with his family. A software developer in Microsoft and a learner by heart. Please welcome Toastmaster Prasim.
Thank you so much, Presiding Officer. Welcome all Toastmasters and guests. Introducing you with today's theme for Allyship. First of all, I would like to know how many of you know what allyship is, and can you please explain what allyship means to you? Anyone? Yes, please.
So it's like speaking against some discrimination without being part of that minority or that group of people. Like taking a stand for people those who are minority or
Right.
certain discrimination is happening with it.
Exactly. Anyone else who wants to share their views? Yes.
We see allyship as a something which is contrary to bullying, like bullying that goes on in the world. So bullying is of different nature. We see it in colleges or in school offices, and this post is very much required to counter the bullying. And
Exactly. So, first, going into what allyship is, let's try to understand why this term even came into picture. Let's imagine there is a world and a meta world. Let's leave meta world. In this world itself, it is our planet, and there are so many species. Let's leave other species, just Homo sapiens, not even Homo neanderthals or Homo XYZs. In our Homo sapiens itself, there are so many different kind of people who come from different backgrounds, different thought process, different value system, different belief systems, so on and so forth. We understand, right, how much diversity is there. Now let's think, if we want to do something bigger, can one individual do it? No, right? We need more people. And as soon as we start forming the organizations, an organization could be anything, a person, more than one person who come together to achieve a shared vision or a goal. But just think for a moment, if they don't feel included, will they give their 100% or will be effective and bring their authentic self? No, right? So let's think of what are the non-inclusive behaviors. Anyone can please share what is a non-inclusive behavior or what could be contributing to it? Right. Making small groups. Anyone else?
Seems like you are invited in a party and dancing is effective. That's
Right. Makes sense. Anyone else?
speaking in a foreign language which is not more
Definitely. I agree with all the points. With that, there is also one more point which is very subconscious in our mind, which is subconscious bias. We all know we are the outcome of our environment in which we grow up. We learn and figure out the world around us based on those inputs which we got throughout our childhood journey and then going forward. But each one of our experiences is different. How can we judge or figure out what others want or need? That's a problem. And what is the solution then? The solution is, one of the solution maybe is allyship. But to know what allyship is, let's try to figure out who is an ally. Because allyship is a behavior which is shown by an ally. Ally is a person who consciously decides to help, to understand, empathize, and support others. Now, allyship can be also in many forms. Allyship to one, allyship to some, or allyship to all. Allyship to one is like being an ally to someone you know or like or feels is similar to you. You try to help them in order to be inclusive in a non-inclusive environment. Allyship to some is like you are part of a group, but you feel someone is not in that group, and you try to help them. So you are you are an ally to some. But allyship to all is not thinking like we are a part of a group and others are not part of a group, or we are someone good and someone is bad. But it is about including everyone and thinking the behavior is maybe because of the experience which they had. But fundamentally, if someone thinks, okay, they want to be an ally, what does it decides? The person who needs an ally should be helped the way in. Or to rephrase my question, who decides the way the affected person needs to be helped? Is it me who wants to help him, or is it he who wants to get help? Anyone?
Is it the person who's helping?
Is it the person who is helping? Okay. Let's think about a scenario. There is a colleague in your office who is visually impaired, and she comes to you and asks you the direction for the cafeteria. You tell her, come with me, you might not be able to go to the cafeteria, I will help you. And she responds back negatively to you. And you feel, even on helping, this is what I am getting, is this the right allyship? Maybe she just asked for the direction, but not wanted you to help her actually go to the cafeteria. So, in that way, personally, I feel it is sometimes the person who is actually affected should be deciding how he wants to get helped by others. But to know that, we need to know the affected person's the circumstances which he is, or what kind of help he needs. With that, let's move on to our today's meeting, and let me, as a Toastmasters of the day, explain you the structures of Toastmasters meeting. So Toastmasters meeting is divided into 3 rounds. First round is about prepared speeches, in which each speaker would be attempting their speech paths, and they will be evaluated on those speeches. The second round would be about table topics. It is also called as impromptu speaking round, in which even guests can participate, and they would have to give a speech of around 1 to 2 minutes. And finally comes the third round, in which our evaluators would be evaluating not just the conduct of meeting, but also the speeches, and give their feedback. With that, I would like to call today's general evaluator and his tech team to come on the stage and introduce themselves. Toastmaster Piyush. Toastmaster Piyush is there. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster.
Hey, hi team. Good morning to all. So today I'm the general evaluator for the session, and my name is Piyush, and yeah, louder. Okay. Hey, wait a minute. So good morning team. So this is Piyush. I'm the general evaluator for the session, and I want to call the timer of the today's session, Mr. Suresh. Hi, Suresh. Please introduce.
Hi, everyone. Time management is very important for our life. We manage time well every day. That's the reason we are here on time. Like, yes, we are. So, like that, every speaker expected to complete the talk for every
You just have to mention your role as well. Just
so I have three
this first
cards
paragraph
and
I need
like
to
the
read
card.
quickly.
So you can see red, yellow, and red. Sorry, red,
You
yellow,
have to
and
evaluate the
green.
complete
Green
meeting.
means yes, you are reaching allowed time. Yellow means you have to be cautious that you are coming. Yes. And red means that is that your time or other. So here we kind of take this to conclude. If we are not able to conclude after where the meeting is, that is so all of this for all speakers to this and
Need some feedback and all. Some feedback and all. Thanks, Suresh. Secondly, I want to call the age counter of today's session, Toastmaster Ujjal.
So as a founder, my clutch words are basically filler words and filler words like but, like, oh, filler phrases like so that and like that I just spoke, and long pauses which are unnatural. Like a pause is something that as a speech you have a pause that is to make your speech better, that is okay, but a pause that is unnatural in a way, that is not okay, and I will be counting that as well. And at the end of the meeting, I would be presenting my report on the number of crutch words, filler words that speaker spoke when called by the general evaluator. So, best of luck to everyone, and thank you.
So now I want to call the grammarian of the today's session, Mr. Toastmaster Subra.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests. So, as a role of grammarian, my responsibility is to pay attention to all the speakers. I will take note of all the correct and not so correct usage of the words, vocabulary, and my duty is also to give the word of the day, which I already have written. Subsume means to absorb or to include something as a part of larger group. As an example, pre-independent monarchical states were subsumed to a nation called India by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So each speaker is encouraged to use the word whenever the speaker on the stage uses the word of the day in the right context. I would request the audience to show a silent thumbs up as a mark of appreciation so that we can use more and the person can be appreciated and encourage the group to use more.
So if it comes to our daily life, we will increase our vocabulary. I will be giving my report when called upon by the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Last but not the least, listener of the today's session, Toastmaster Avinit.
Hi everyone. Dear Toastmaster and guest, my name is Abhinit and I'll be a listener for today. So my job is to capture a keynote of each of the speeches and as well as whosoever will be delivering, whether it's a Toastmaster or even general evaluator. So I'll be keeping a note of it. For an example, let's say when Whitefield Toastmaster got established, right? I'll be asking this question, and your job is to answer me maybe December 2022. That's going to be the answer. End of the session, I'll be giving you the goodies. Whosoever will be giving the right answer, I'll be distributing the goodies for them. So be prepared for that. That's why we have a one mouth and two ears, right? We have to listen more. So that's all about that. Thank you.
Sorry guys, I forgot to introduce myself and Mr. Cabins. Okay. Piyush, I'm today the general evaluator. So I will evaluate all the speeches today, and I will share the feedback to the fellow speakers. And this is the first time for me as a evaluator. So happy to take your feedback. And as a role, I will give the feedback today. Thanks.
With that, let's start with our first round of prepared speeches. Our first speaker will be attempting his L1P1 speech. And to evaluate his speech, we have Toastmaster Sharla. Toastmaster Sharla is someone who is working as an IT professional, someone who truly believes in being conscious while listening to others' perspective. With that, I will call Toastmaster Sharla. Please.
Good morning, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. Target speaker is attempting his icebreaker speech, and the purpose of the speech is to introduce himself to the club and to learn basic structure of public speaking. Thank you. Over to you, Tiyomot.
So our first speaker is someone who is self-motivated, and allyship to him is about creating new era against the old stereotypes. With that, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Krishna. Toastmaster Krishna, go extra mile, Toastmaster Krishna.
Go to extra mile. We all have to take extra efforts to have excellency in our life. Dear Toastmaster and guest, good morning to all of you. I am going to deliver my icebreaker speech to introduce about myself to the club members. Who doesn't know about myself? My name is Krishna, and I am a man made from my past experience. I was born in Kanpur, and I am from medical family background. My grandfather, my father, both are doctors. My mother is housemaker, and my sister is lecturer and well settled in Kanpur. My younger brother, he is working in IT, but again into a healthcare domain. 9 years back, my family got extended when after my marriage, and now I'm a dad of 2 kids, Arav and Krisha. Most of my time I spend with them to play and sometimes I recall my childhood time as well. Before going to my childhood era, I would like to share a very interesting fact behind my name. I was born in month of September, which is called as born, birth of Lord Krishna. So my family started calling me Gopal, which is my nickname. In a very same month, my uncle got a bravery title. So with a combination of these two events, in month of September, they named me Krishnavir Singh. Yes, they named me Krishnavir Singh, and very few people know me by my full name. Even the other thing is, I really don't know if I did any bravery work since I birth. But looking forward in my future if there is any scope. Coming back to my childhood time, I spent most of the time with my grandfather, especially during a summer time. My grandfather, after the retirement, he taken a call to run his cleaning in a village. He does not have any motive apart from to get anything in return except the smile and to give the healthier life to the village people. I saw few of the days whenever I wake up, my grandfather is not at home. Whole day I wait for him and I think I will meet at least before sleep, but I did not able to see him. Very next day, when I say, I missed you yesterday, where you were, he smiled and say, to take care of a patient, I have to walk at least 30-40 miles. Sometimes with cycle, sometimes without cycle. One thing I saw, the respect for him where he goes. And being a grandson of my grandfather, I also been treated in village differently. That time I decide to become a doctor. But as we all know, life is not what we all expect. After 10th class, my parents decided to put me for IIT classes. And then in 2009, I completed my graduation by computer science and engineering. And since then, I'm working into IT corporate. In starting my career, I was doing everything whatever one engineer is supposed to do. I was getting all the appreciations, outstanding jobs. Until 7 years, I was continue doing the IT jobs, delivering all the projects, getting outstanding efforts, getting a good team members. But I was anyhow somewhere not satisfied because I was not playing any role in my project to have an interaction with end users. I was not able to fulfill the requirement or to connect with end users, whatever I want to do, whatever I learned from my grandfather. Just 7 years back, I got an opportunity from a healthcare. And by seeing the job title and discussing with HR, I understood that is the job I meant for. Today, I'm happily working in this organization from last 7 years. My organization mission is to give 100x delivery to the patient with the zero distance effort. That means we are working into artificial intelligence to enable a software into a public cloud, migrating our in-premises software into a public cloud so that there would be a very easy approach to the patients. Zero distance means we doesn't want to patients go to clinic and share the diseases. We want medication need to reach to their doorsteps so that they can get the treatment very easily. We have some artificial intelligence software also enabling that will track their health. They will track their patients, and before any disease comes to patients,
we can give the indication to the patient and we can treat them before the disease comes. That is the mission of my organization, and I am feeling happy sometimes when I talk to doctors, pharmacists, patients. Sometimes I saw they are pretty much affected with the cancer, and after 1 or 2 years when I talk to them, they are happy guys and enjoying their lives as we all are. That's all from my side. Thanks guys. Over to you, Pramin.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Krishna. With that, let's move to our second speaker. He will be attempting his L1P1 speech, which is also an icebreaker speech. But before moving to that, let's call the evaluator for the second speech. To evaluate this speech, we have Toastmaster Kevin. I request him to read out the speech of the objectives for the second speech.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Good morning. So it's a privilege that I'm able to do an evaluation for an icebreaker speech today, and that too for our own club member, Toastmaster Aiden. And today I will be evaluating certain points here. To start off, I'll be looking at the clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, comfort level, and the interest. So this is what I'll be evaluating on, okay? And the speech timing, timer, just make a note, it's 4 to 6 minutes for icebreaker speech. And I wish Aiden all the very best. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. With that, let's call our second speaker, Toastmaster Adam. He is a philomath, and Allyship for him is a process aimed not at fixing others, but that others can be heard. Toastmaster Adam.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Adam, that golden question. Toastmaster Adam. Go ahead.
A very good morning, Whitefield Toastmasters. Great. Very recently, I completed my Masters and earned the title of MBA to my name. For the past 1 year, I've been answering to that golden question: what are my goals? Specifically, what are my 3-year and 5-year goals? Every time that I would prep for this or rehearse this, my mind would ponder. And I would ask myself, how long would I stick to this? Being so young and having unexperienced so less, I would think, would this be my end game? What would be my limit? Fellow Toastmasters and all guests gathered here with us today, my name is Aiden Anilvergis, and let me share with you the 2 moments of realization that I had in 23 years of life that gave me the most clarity. 2 moments which made me say, aha. Ready for it? Aha number 1. Not long ago, on doing an audit of my life, I realized that I was bored through it. I really didn't have any goals, even at 21. However, there was a silver lining. There came a moment, specifically in 2022. It was a TED talk, and the speaker told, you can be old, even 50, without having a goal or recognizing yourself. But it is your responsibility to explore, spend time with yourself, and thereby discover yourself. Here, I brainstormed and further discovered that goals translate to and are centered around our passion. That brought me to what is passion. The definition for passion goes like this: Passion is a collection of our life experiences which give us the deepest level of fulfillment. Now, this part is empowering. I learned that you need to challenge yourself by doing something that you find fulfilling. And what is fulfilling for you revolves around your passion. I further synthesized the formula from my learnings. Self-challenge plus fulfillment equals growth. However, you should be mindful of this red flag. Competitiveness should be avoided as competitiveness slowly kills passion. Aim for growth and not competition. I further decided to manifest my learnings and also subsume that I'm not on any sort of deadline to discover my goals, and in doing so, myself. This, ladies and gentlemen, was the first aha moment. Once again, self-challenge plus fulfillment equals growth and giving ample time to discovering myself. Okay, I hope you're all with me. Maybe that would have been a lot. Let's cool things down. Would you like to know a fun fact about me? Yes. Great. So I'm 23 now, and I feel gloomy at times because I'm not 21 anymore. It's like I lost my magic number, and that makes me sad at times. For example, whenever someone asks what's my age, I'll put on a smile, and inside I'll be really sad. Okay, back. Shall we proceed? Okay, second aha moment. Ananda Radhakrishnan, CEO and Managing Director of Infosys BPO. He was asked, what was your purpose? This happened very recently on day 2 of Toastmasters coordination. He responded, and I quote, helping and amplifying people. The moment that I heard this, something just snapped. This personifies me. This points towards my passion. This, ladies and gentlemen, was the second aha moment. My mind quickly wandered through my past life choices and revealed a pattern of me amplifying the quality of others' lives. Okay, so now I know what to do, but how do I do it? Alright, so follow the breadcrumbs. Who amplifies better than a teacher? And I've been told on several instances that I can be a good teacher. I actually come from a line of teachers, so maybe I can be a third generation teacher from my family. However, a lot of questions still left unanswered and a lot of questions still yet to be found. By solving all these, someday I hope to find an answer to that golden question. Now, I do have a long-term goal wherein I envision myself as a TEDx speaker. But apart from all that, my life's a blur, and I'm absolutely fine with that. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aiden Verghese, an incomplete jigsaw puzzle piecing itself together, hopefully in the next few years. I make this decision to join Toastmasters to improve, but also challenge myself, and thereby improve those around me, just as self-challenge plus fulfillment, to convert this vision of myself into a personal brand. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aiden. With that, let's move to our third speech. Our third speaker would be attempting his L1P3 speech. And to evaluate this speech, we have Toastmaster Tejas. So I would like to call upon Toastmaster Tejas to read out the speech objective for the third.
Thank you.
Hello, dear Toastmasters. Are you awake? Yes. Okay, great. because I don't want my speaker to come on stage and then you guys are a little sleepy after the 2 speeches. So, my target speaker is coming to give the speech level 1 P3, that's level 1 in project 3. And the purpose statement is the purpose for this project is for the member to practice using a vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. So once the speech is done, I'll be giving the evaluation based on the same. Thank you and all the best, my target speaker, Toastmaster Atul. Thank you.
Our next speaker is someone who works as a manager but also has his business. And Allyship for him is a counteraction to the bullying which is caused by a sense of superiority. Let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Atul. Toastmaster Atul, moderately minimalist Toastmaster Atul.
Is the glass half full or half empty? Half full. This phrase was again used before normal people. The pessimist again said, the glass is half empty. The optimist said, you have such a negative look in life. This is half full. The trendsetter, the leader announced, I have a different look on this. This is half filled with air, half filled with water. The motivator intervenes from nowhere in between. He says, you all are missing the point. The point is that it is refillable and you all have the power to do this. Fill it now or regret it later. Aloof from all this, there was a gang of minimalists sitting in the bar with a glass half of scotch. One of the guy in that said, the point is, this glass is twice as large as it needs to be. The second one agrees to it, yes. The third one, he says, the glass should be robust and should be able to meet my other requirements as well. The fourth guy, he levels it up. He says, the glass should be made of titanium. Now remember, all of them are drunk. He said, the glass should be made of titanium and should last my entire life with me and should be able to be accommodated in my bag with other 12 belongings. The fifth guy, he goes completely berserk. He is from tech. He says that this glass should be made of graphene. It should have Wi-Fi installed in it and it should be able to do calculating function as well so that I remain always ahead in my tech curve. So that brings me to the question, how many of you identify yourself as a minimalist? Oh wow, no, none of them. So my next question was, how many of you are annoyingly minimalist? And I am one of them. And I grew to this level when I was in college, when I was studying a course in architecture. Now to tell you, the course architecture is the best subject to learn the evolution of cultures across the world. The thing is, one of the takeaway that I got is that humans, the things that have come into action is because of humans' reactionary nature. And it is very, very valid because after a point of time in a particular direction, humans start getting insane. So earlier we had this Indian or let's take Gothic architecture. So we had beautiful renditions, deep details in everything. It's so much that even in the microscopic view, you will see details. There are details inside the eyelids of the sculptures. As a reaction to this, we got a modernist revolution. We started simplifying things. We started only incorporating those things that fulfill a particular demand. Now, in the modernist revolution, the designs started becoming simple, geometric shapes, and no extra spaces. Concise, precise designs, they started, this reached a level of insanity when it reached what we call as brutalist architecture, wherein there was no design, no decoration, simple concrete. Be it Buffalo City or Boston Hall, to name a few. Now, I liked it very much because it was very easy to replicate in my assignments. My professor, when he used to ask me, Atul, which is the style of architecture you find yourself in sync with, I always used to say brutalist. I always hope that my future clients are the ones who are hoping for the same. My second reason of becoming a minimalist was my parents. My parents used to keep all kind of papers into their disposal. No, I'm not talking only about the documents. It included grocery bills from years, ATM withdrawal receipt from years. I used to ask my mom, Ma, we don't even earn enough to be eligible for income tax. What were we saving it all for? We are not going to attract any income tax officer. And of course, I was used to put to silence. But forbidden fruit is the sweetest. And that landed me becoming a minimalist. A minimalist who started behaving like Steve Jobs because he started wearing the same outfit every day. After this, it started getting insane when I was throwing away all the clothes from my wardrobe until my friend who reached to me and he stopped me and he says, Atul, you are hyping it all. This is getting insane. Why are you doing all these things? Why are you disowning all your things? I said, why? Because this relieves me of my stress. Of course, if the stress is coming from cleaning and organizing things, no, but it lets me focus on the things that I love. But shopping and decorating things were the things that you loved always. Yes, but it also saves my time. Saves your time. It is not saving your time because that is unrelated to accumulating stuffs. And at the end of the day, these things, all the things cannot be replaced by other things. This brought me into a matter of again contemplating upon the things. And after I pondered upon things, I realized that there is a wealth in applying minimalist only in digital and information lives, not in materialistic possessions. When we apply what we are stressed upon, because we are burdened up with a lot of information. Now, with this information which is coming from social media, so we spend a lot of time on scrolling down Instagram for hours and hours. There are too many ads showing us to buy unnecessary things. There are too many political strifes, political viewpoints which is being shared through social media. We need to declutter from the digital information and not from the material possessions. For the material possessions, we need to have a balance, and this balance of balancing things keeping in moderation is the key. So, throwing away things is easy, but changing our habits to incorporate moderation is difficult. Next time, we don't want to throw the clothes away from the closet, but keep the clothes in moderation. This glass, we can call it half full or half empty, is the best because it is in moderation. Thank you. Back to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atul. With that, let's move to our fourth speaker. Fourth speaker would be attempting his L2P2 speech. And to evaluate this speech, we have Toastmaster Sijo. I request Toastmaster Sijo to read out the speech objectives.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Good morning. My target speaker will be delivering his L2P2 speech in Pathways Innovative Planning. The speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose of the speech or this project is for the member to practice the skills
needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. To do this, the member would be, he is expected to deliver a speech which has an topic which is unfamiliar or an unusual topic which is unfamiliar to the audience. All the best to Toastmaster Piyush.
Thank you, Toastmaster Fijo. Our next speaker is someone who is Associate VP Education for our club and working in banking sector for more than 10 years. Allyship for him means working towards success by sharing each of our work. With that, I would like to call upon, please raise your hands for Toastmaster Piyush. Toastmaster Piyush. Change, Toastmaster Piyush.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. How many of you think change is a good thing? Almost everyone. Let me tell you, today I'm going to talk about a change which is not a good thing, that is climate change. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Speaking about climate change, though it may be a very familiar topic, but I'm going to drill down into certain unfamiliar concept about it. What climate change is that we human beings have caused it, and this no one can deny. The temperature of Earth has been rising century over century, day by day. It's all caused by humans digging out the carbon-based hydrocarbons which have been stored inside the Earth and burning them to release the energy. That also generates carbon dioxide. Now, I just wanted to ask the audience that what do you think we can do to make sure that the climate change is minimized? Can anyone have any suggestion? Pardon? Exactly right. Anything else? All of them are right. Exactly right. That's what my theme of today's speech would be. Let me just start with, many people say electronic vehicle, EV, right? We have many fancy EVs nowadays in the world which have green number plate indicating its initiative to go green. But how many of us know that was the cost of lithium and nickel and other chemical that goes into the battery? Not many of us. Good few people know. For the rest of the audience, these produce lot of carbon dioxide. To give you a rough estimate, when you buy a EV compared to a petrol car, you have already used up roughly the petrol or diesel required for roughly 20,000 kilometers of driving. That is required to produce the batteries that are put in the electric cars. These 20,000 numbers is just a rough estimate based on India's EV segment population with a lower battery capacity of 30 to 40 kilowatt hour. If you go to higher one, this estimates even go to 50,000 kilometers. So to come up, it equals in your carbon saving equal to the normal petrol car, you need to drive your electric car around 20 to 30 kilometers with a clean energy. The second part of this is the clean energy. In India, when we generate energy, 70% of that comes from hydrocarbons, not from renewable. So anyways, here we are already spending a lot in terms, here we are already giving out a lot carbon dioxide in producing that energy that we are using in our car. And if you add the roughly 10-15% distribution losses, that would more or less come equal to the petrol car. Just a myth buster that EV car, as per my thought, is not an eco-friendly thing. It's equally as bad as petrol car in carbon emissions. Let me touch upon what we can do. What we can do is use of public transport. That's the best way. We have certain metros where one metro can accommodate a lot. It is best to use these public transport, and the second option is carpool. Instead of one person going alone in his car, we can go together, 5 people in a car. That will move that 5 car to 1 car.
That is simple things that we can do. Another thing which I'm not sure how many of us have thought upon is water. This is a bit related to climate change and there are reasons to it. Can anyone guess what is the max depth of the borewell that we have in Bangalore within the BBMP limits? Any guess? Any random guess? It is 1700 feet, 1700. That's almost 1/4 of Mount Everest. What happens is when we extract water from these underground aquifers, the trees around us don't get the water. The tree's root cannot go 1000 feet deep. And as the outcome of this, the trees around us are dying. So leave alone the part of planting new trees, we are not even letting the existing trees survive. And here, water is something which is very crucial, not just for us, for the trees and for everyone. And fresh water is very limited on this planet, just 0.3%. Speaking about water, the normal flow rate of our faucets at our house is roughly 6 liters per minute. To summarize, if you open a tap, for 1 minute it will give 6 liters of water. We usually always take a bath every day, right? We do it for roughly 10 minutes. Now we are not teenager. When I was teenager, it was just 30 seconds for me. That to shower was well, it was just 2 mug of water, a quick bath, and I'm done. Now usually take a 10 minutes bath. In that 10 minutes, if I keep the shower on, I'm wasting, or rather I'm utilizing 60 liters of water. Compare that to a traditional way of bathing, that is using a bucket. A bucket would max hold 20-25 liters. The traditional way, we would be using 1/3 of the water that we normally use in a shower mode. These are a few basic things that we do. Another thing is that washing utensils. As I told you, the flow rate of the faucet 6 liters per minute. If we wash the utensils or the maid wash the utensils for 10 minutes, it will again be 60 liters. Compare this to the dishwashers that we have. Most of the dishwashers that we have today in market use around 10 to 20 liters max. It depends on the setting that you have. If you put the eco setting, it will use around 10 to 12 liters. It reuses the same water to wash. This again is roughly 1/6 reduction in the daily water that you consume for washing utensils. And the same goes for washing clothes as well. The other thing that I believe we all can do is, how many people are non-vegetarian here? Lot many. Do you realize the carbon footprint that you are leaving by consuming a non-veg meal? Many of us may not be. Traditionally, it was not the same case, because traditionally, whenever in villages, etc., we had chicken, it was just around our house. It was a pet chicken which we used to kill and eat. Now it's all commercialized activity. We have factories where they will feed. We have transportation. We have lot many things that is contributing to lot many carbon. Instead, if we just stick ourselves to the plant-based meal, we will save a lot of carbon dioxide here as well. So to summarize, guys, just few things. Water, car, instead of car, we can take transport to save our nature. Second thing, you should use water as cautious as possible so that everyone around us in your plant can get it. And third thing, if you can just move to a more plant-based diet, it would be great for everyone, including the animals as well. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you, Toastmaster Akshay. With that, let's move to last but not the least, our fifth speaker who would be attempting her L1P3 speech. And to evaluate her speech, we have Toastmaster Akshay, who would be reading out the speech objectives for our next speaker. Toastmaster Akshay is someone who works as an aerospace engineer and also is developing habit of reading. And allyship for him is supporting someone who is deserving enough. With that, let me call upon Toastmaster Akshay.
Thank you, TMOD. Let's talk about the theme of the day today.
So Allyship, I scrolled over my WhatsApp yesterday and got to know about the theme Allyship. And as everyone of you might have done, I googled it out, what it means. And after initial few minutes, I almost surrendered to the word because it is a very broad term actually. It does not have a specific meaning. You can relate it to any scenario, and you can practice this thing at your home as well. Being a captain of a volleyball team, you can practice it. Being a part of NGO, you can practice it. So this is something like that. Like for example, how you can practice it at your home. If I take my example, there was an incident which happened in my home when it was around 10 years back, and my sister qualified 12th examination with around 95% grade, and my parents were actually very stubborn, and they were not allowing her to move out of the city and to study in a big colleges of Delhi, and which was actually very deserving in her format. So I convinced my parents that she should definitely move out, and because she is actually deserving. And now she is pursuing PhD, and maybe this year she'll move out to US. So maybe that step of mine was a kind of allyship which I practiced in my home itself. So that's all about the theme of the day. Moving on, my role today is as an evaluator, and my target speaker is Toastmaster Kaushika. She'll be giving a speech on the task L1P3, and she has chosen the pathway for herself as dynamic leadership. So Toastmaster Kaushika, I'll be evaluating you today on the basis of few parameters like vocal variety and your body language. Body language might include something like the pace which you speak on, and the pitch and the volume. So all the best. Thank you. Yeah, over to you. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akshay. So our fifth speaker is someone who is a software engineer and used to work at CTS and also at ISB Hyderabad, and currently building 2D games. With that, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Kaushika. Toastmaster Kaushika, stepping out of the line, Toastmaster Kaushika.
Thank you, Toastmasters Piyush, for that wonderful intro. Sorry, Prasim, for that wonderful intro. What is it to be mischievous? To break the rules once in a while? To get a dose of adrenaline rush in the moment to experience the thrill of the entire episode? So ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow mischief makers, today I stand before you to recall one of the incidents back from my school days in a hostel. So brace yourselves for a fun-filled with laughter, cake, and the wrath of an angry warden. So picture this. It was an evening. It was one fine evening. I was in the 7th grade. It was my friend Sukanya's birthday. And we, the 7th graders, were determined to have a big birthday bash. Although celebrating birthday parties and cutting cake was not permitted inside the hostel premises, we had to find our way out. What we were allowed is to wear colored clothes and distribute small candies to our fellow friends. So that was pretty much a birthday celebration. Although we had a small canteen inside our hostel premises from where we could get some minimal basic snacks and sweets, which we would normally buy from those canteens with our meager pocket money of rupees 30 each week, we were determined to get us cake for this birthday. So we all banded together to conspire on the different means we could find to source a birthday cake. it is working together, at the least I can say, because we had to coordinate and we had to brainstorm and come up with ideas as to how we're going to source the cake. It was like watching those, and it only reminds me of the heist movies which we watch these days, as I can relate it to the Money Heist or the Oceans series, the Oceans 11, 12 or 13 if you have watched, where groups got together to conspire on something. So we collectively together decided to pool in each of our pocket money, our very minimal pocket money, and decided to ask one of our day school friends to buy us a cake and the other party supplies. So with stealth and precision, we managed to smuggle a cake into the hostel. And on the eve of the birthday, we were all very much excited. And as the school dismissed for the day, we rushed to the hostel excitedly to get dressed for the much awaited 7th grader birthday party. It is like Enid Blyton's Secret 7 Adventures, but I'd like to title it The Mystery of the 7th Grader Birthday Party. So we made all the preparations, we got together, and we took all precaution to make sure that we were not surprised by any unexpected guest, like maybe the hostel warden. We did not want the warden to barge in between the celebration. So we took all precaution, locked the doors, drew the curtains of the room, and excitedly began to decorate the room with balloons and streamers. And we were determined to rock the party like it has never been rocked in the history of a hostel life. So the birthday celebrations began, and we all, even though we did not have phones or we didn't have any audio system to play music, that didn't dampen our spirits. We sang and danced, and as the cake was cut, we took huge chunks of cake on our hand and smeared it on each other's faces. And as some of our friends were careful not to just run out of the dormitory, I recall it was my friend Vidya and me who, at the moment of fun and frenzy, we just ran out of our dormitories into the open. And little did we know that we would be caught, that we would bump into our warden. We caught a quick glimpse at our warden and just stood still. We froze like statues caught in the act. And for me, I was literally trembling. I could feel my heart beating faster, my knees shaking, my hands trembling. I had butterflies in my stomach. And the warden didn't say a word. She just gave us a cold stare and summoned us into her office. So me, followed by Vidya, we entered the warden's room. And there was a moment of silence. Now, I have to tell you that myself and Vidya, the two of us, were in the good books of our warden. So the silence was like Julius Caesar telling, "You do, Brutus," when at the moment he was being stabbed. I could read the warden's thoughts, telling us that we had betrayed her. We didn't talk a word. The warden didn't say anything. We just stood there looking down at the floor, counting all the creases and crevices of the wooden floor, as the warden didn't stop staring at us. The silence was only to be broken with me giggling as I slowly glanced and looked at my friend Vidya's face smeared with cake. I only couldn't stop giggling when I saw the cherry-topped nose. It was like looking at a clown in a circus. And in turn, Vidya looked at my face and we giggled at each other. It was a vicious cycle. So like each of us giggling, looking at our faces, each other's faces. But what can we say? We looked like modern pieces of modern must art. But for the warden, it was abomination. She and we so we had to just get out of the situation. But we could just not help ourselves from giggling at each other. The more we giggled, the warden got more furious. And she was like, "What are you up to? And where did you get the cake from?" And we couldn't speak and say anything, but only giggle. It was sheer insanity. It was like a symphony of chaos, with each note only striking a new level of absurdity. And to the sheer insanity, we didn't know what we had to do. So the warden finally, she sentenced us to an eternity of punishments. We were made to do mundane chores and do assignments, extra assignments, and there were no more birthday parties for the rest of the academic year. But it was a small price to pay for those good memories which we recall. So, I would want to conclude with this. Whether the rules of being a rebellion, need to cherish both the rules and being rebellious. We learn things out of the two things, out of both. It's a delicate dance between the two. So have the wisdom and be wise rule followers and fearless rule breakers. So thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kaushika. And that concludes our first session. Let it subsume that we have covered 5 prepared speeches today. So let's move to the next exciting session, which is about table topics. And to provide us with the challenges for today's table topics, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Raj. Toastmaster Raj is currently working in payments and banking industry. He worked closely with governing body of India, RBI and NPCI. He is also a die-hard fan of soccer and loves traveling and currently serving as a VP member. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Raj.
How's the Josh? It's so low, man. Come on, show some energy. Whitefield. How's the Josh? You blow me, man. You know, I keep doing these dress rehearsals to calm myself down. Because I was standing at the back, I'm always a backbencher, standing at the back, looking at people's expressions and all. Some are in the mid, almost like Sundays, it's a lazy Sunday. We all tend to spend time with family, mostly sleep. So I was looking at people and I thought, okay, something has to be done on the stage. All right. So my name is Raj. I'm currently serving as a VP membership at Whitefield Toastmasters Club. I will be taking you through the table topic session today. It's going to be a fun session, as always, when I'm on the stage. Before we start, there are a couple of things which I want to share with you on this session. This session will be In this session, the role takers and the members of Whitefield will not be participating. So, who participates? Butterflies, air beneath your chair. So, only the guests. All right. So, members, you can take a back seat, you can relax. It also depends on my mood, you know. If I see you giggling around too much, you might be the next person on the stage. If I see you serious, you might be the next person on the stage as well. So, having said that, so this session, I'll be calling guests and speakers on the stage. I'll be giving them a topic. The topic will be of my choice, looking at you. You will not be having the privilege to choose the topic from a bowl and all the general rehearsal what we do here. So with me, things are different, you know. I'll look up to you, I'll look up on my notepad and I'll give you the topic. You need to speak a minimum of 1 minute, a maximum of 2 minutes. Try to be on the stage for 1 minute and say something on the topic. You will be given a buffer time of 30 seconds in which you need to complete your speech. That is 2 minutes 30 seconds. And timer Sukesh will be making a note of that, and he will be sharing his report at the end of the day. Even if you exceed your time, we are so generous and wise, and we show empathy towards the guest and members. We will not disqualify you. Presiding officer, with your permission. All right. So, the objective of table topic session is basically to quickly organize and express the thoughts of impromptu speaking. Okay. So, when first time I was invited by Mazahir on the stage 6 months back, I started. He gave me a topic, and I was blank for 5-6 seconds. I just spoke about the meeting which I had with my boss, So I know it was not up to the mark, but yeah. And I can understand when you come on the stage, guys, it is not easy. Kudos to the members who have recently joined. They have taken up the roles and responsibilities in today's meeting. It's always a journey where you tend to learn and grow and excel in life. So kudos to you and all the best. So without further ado, should we start? Yes. So the pattern will be left to right, right to left, no row wise. Okay. So first I would like to call Nidhi. Nidhi, can you please come on the stage? So guys, I look up on the left, I call on the right. Okay, for one more, dress rehearsal is when you come on the stage, I'll give you the mic. When your session is done, please hand it over to me.
Thank you.
Yesterday, I had the opportunity to interact with her 2 days back. She's here to upscale her communication skills and leadership skills. So, Nidhi, I'll give you a topic which is very simple. Describe your life if you were an object. For example, a mirror, a table, a chair which you were sitting, a briefcase, or a dog. Describe your life if you were an object, a mirror, a table, a chair, a briefcase, or a dog. You can choose either one.
So two, yeah, pick one.
Yeah, anyone.
Okay. Just give me a few seconds, guys. This is the first time I'm talking to like such a big crowd, and all of you are currently strangers to me. Thank you so much, Raj. So my life, if I was an object, let me think. Then I'll just choose the chair. So if I was a chair, probably. I might be used just to pile up the clothes that we have at home, and somewhere because of the load of those clothes, my original identity could have been like hidden inside that, and some kind of help I would need from from someone who thinks about the chair and picks up the pile away, so that my original identity and the original functionality could come in picture, and I can be used as an object on which we can sit rather than to pile up clothes on. So that's it. Thank you.
That was a good attempt. If you ask me which object would I choose, I would rather choose a mirror. I mean, almost all the time before my marriage, I can take the liberty, as my better half is not here. I always used to look into the mirror, you know. I had the opportunity and the habit of looking into the mirror. Once I got married, it turned the other way. It's not laughing, guys. I used to see myself in the eyes of my love. So for me, she is the mirror. So I don't know. People who are laughing too much, maybe you have other ways of looking life after marriage. So yeah. So who goes next? Okay, let me see some volunteer hands in the guest. Okay, Harsha, you go. Come. Hey, please come. Nervous? It's fine. I met Harsha just an hour and a half back. So I don't know much about him, but I'm sure he is here for the same purpose as we all are. So without further delay, I'll just give you a very simple topic. What's the greatest gift a parent can give to the child? What is the greatest gift a parent can give to the child? Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have kids?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hi everyone. This is Harsha. Am I audible? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Just I broke in. It was with my friend. If not, I would have not come here. Just we had a casual chat and somehow I ended up sitting here. So I forgot the topic.
What is the greatest gift a parent can give to the child?
Oh, parents' gift to a child. I need to, though I have a child, I'm not able to bring out. It's the happiness the kid needs. Like they don't demand for something which is. See, I'm not able to frame it out, but. Sorry. I'm not able to frame. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you. It happened, guys. Somebody else wants to take up this? Okay. Yeah. Hi. So our next guest is Hari. He'll be taking up the same topic. Okay. We are neighbors. We stay in the same vicinity, and this is my second time interacting with him, and I'm sure he's going to do a fab job.
I don't know about that, but I will definitely say something.
What is the greatest gift a parent can give to the child?
Very good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. I am Nitin, and I stay in SDA. I am a principal solution architect by profession. I work in Ericsson. I have a wife. Her name is Chitra, and have a 15-year-old son, Abhisar. So that's pretty much about it. So the topic is about what is the greatest gift that you probably would have received from your parents. It's an interesting thought which
I have learned from a person who you would never imagine that he can have such thought process about the way he look towards the life. This person, he actually ran away from Pashchim Bengal with nothing in hand, zero. He was actually a refugee with one of my colleagues those days, living in a PG, running chores for the paying guest house, doing cooking for us, and we used to pay a very paltry sum for it so that he can carry on with his life. Eventually, that was a very early phase of my life when I landed into Bangalore. 3 months I stayed in the PG and then I moved on. But I still remembered his name. His name was Santosh. And what happened is almost around 8 to 9 years later, I met him again. I was able to recognize him, and thankfully he recognized me too. So that was a great feeling that, okay, that you can make an impression on somebody, that people can recognize you. And I said that, Santosh, what are you doing nowadays? So he said, I do a lot of plumbing job, I do a lot of electrician job, I have made a fortune. That means he owns a building. I don't know how he made that life from zero to made a building in his own hometown. So I asked him one simple thing about his life, that, see, you have zero, your parents haven't given you education, you have nothing to fall back on, but how did you motivated yourself to come to this stage? And he said one thing about his parents, that look, whatever might have happened with my life because of the circumstances I have born in, but one of the greatest thing my parents have given is this life, this very life. That is the greatest thing that my parents have given, because if they would not have given this life to me, I probably would not have seen this beautiful world. I probably would not have met beautiful people. I would not have able to meet my dreams and the dreams that I am continuing to follow. So with that, I am going to end my topic here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So by this time you would have known that I'm not good with names. So I'm sorry for pronouncing it incorrectly. So the greatest gift a parent can give to the child. For me, I don't have a child yet, but what I can remember is my dad used to tell me that empathy and equality is something which should be there in all human beings. Treat everybody equally, whether whosoever the person is, and have that empathy, not only towards human being, towards your surroundings. It can be your animal, it can be the nature. Since we already have got a long description and details about nature from Piyush in his speech, so I will not take much of the time on that. So the next guest I would like to invite. Okay, please come. Your good name? Akshay. Okay. Akshay. Yeah, Akshay. Okay. So we have two Akshayas in the house. Wonderful. So your topic, Akshay, is if you were to write a book, what would be its title and why? If you were to write a book, what would be its title and why? Akshay.
My name is Akshay. Professional, I am an interior designer. So it's a very good topic for me. If I want to write a book of my own, the title would be My Life with Stammering, because it would be I am having this problem with
from my childhood, like my parents were saying, from UKG. So I would write all the difficulties I came across from my childhood, and what and all it happened, and also who have supported me a lot. And I want to write it as I want to also mention in the word I came across so many people, like I was talking to so many people in the to overcome my stammering. So I got to know only 1% of people have have laughed at me, and who has teased me, and also who has ignored me. Only 1% of people, and all 99% of people were so kind and were so humble to me, and they have listened so patience, because I was taking so much of time to speak, like that. And also I want to mention my backbone, my my therapist, who has been supporting me to overcome this problem. Yeah. Thank you.
Come here. See, Akshay, I just met him a few minutes back. In the middle of the meeting, he came. I would like to tell you something. I was given the opportunity by our president, Mr. Mazahir, to attend the Division A finale yesterday. I got the opportunity to hear Mr. Jay Narayan, okay, who was an architect and a graphic designer by profession. In the year 2000, he lost both of his eyes. All right, and his life came to a standstill. Okay, imagine architectural, graphic designer, everything is how you relate with your eyes and your skills. One fine day, he had nowhere to go. His wife, whom he met in Malaysia, uh, she stood by him, and she was a Toastmaster. She asked him to join the Toastmaster Club, and today he's one of the champion speakers, and he delivers speeches across all domains, across the globe. So, if when I get emotional, I start stammering as well. I can relate where you're coming from, and guys, it takes really a lot of guts, and at Whitefield I would like everybody to stand, and can we have a standing, please, can we have a standing, okay, the reason I shared this story, because you are a champion in yourself, and keep doing the hard work. You will reach where you have to one day. So with this, I would hand it over to our Toastmaster of the day, Jasim. He can take it over.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raj. With that, let's move to our last round, which is very important round and which is about feedbacks and the evaluations. These feedbacks help us to improve and understand what are the shortcomings we have and what next learning we should have. With that, I would like to call upon the general evaluator of today, Toastmaster Piyush.
So kudos to all of us. We reached this last session of the last part of this session. So yeah. So like I like to call the evaluators to come here and deliver their feedback to the fellow speakers. So I like to call our first evaluator, Toastmaster Sarla, to come here and deliver the feedback. Thanks.
1,000-mile journey begins with one single step. And today, Toastmaster Krishna, you took a giant step into that right direction. Thank you. Good afternoon, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. I love the speech presented by Toastmaster Krishna. The confidence, the voice actually traveled across this room. There were even times you suppressed your fear of speaking here, and that's a sign of great speaker. I like the content you presented here in your speech, like how you named as Krishna Veer after your grandfather rewarded with bravery award. That actually spoke to me because I too had a story behind my name and I delivered that during my icebreaker. Also, when you said an extra excellency to life, I'm sure every one of us would be thinking and working every day to achieve something extra and adding that excellency to our life. Wonderful for that. And most importantly, an icebreaker speech serves a purpose of that speaker being known to the audience. It's not just that structure, but yes, it's you being comfortable in this huge crowd. And I commend you for doing that. Kudos to you. For growth areas and to subsume into your next speeches, I like to thank you for 3 letters. OMG. Yes. Organize your speech in a structured way of opening body and closure so that you will be having a smooth transition between your sections of speeches and delivering a right message at the closure. M, moving around of the space. So I observed you were moving from here only till here. I would suggest use this podium as much as you can. And G, grab your audience by introducing nice dramatic pauses in between. So that when you started with your name and then you were continuing with some more anecdotes, I would prefer enter more dramatic pauses so that your audience can connect with you and also to your story. Overall, a wonderful speech as an icebreaker, and congratulations once again on completing your L1P1. Thank you. Over to you, team.
Thanks, Sarla, for the feedback, for the valuable feedback and the to-the-point feedback. Hope Krishna will implement it from the upcoming speeches. So the next evaluator for the today's session is, I'd like to call Toastmaster Kevin to share his feedback. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aiden, for that wonderful speech. I would say usually icebreakers are not very good. Like you are just trying to get adapted to this culture and speak properly from your heart. But I felt you are a natural speaker. And you'll definitely be a TEDx speaker. In this space, you will be a TEDx speaker by the next year itself. Because you have got the potential in you. And I liked your topic very much. It was that golden question, right? It's about finding yourself, like what you want to be in your life. It's actually motivating. I'm quite sure it would have connected to most of us here, sitting here, on what we want to achieve in our life and things like that. And I love the way you broke down the whole conversation with that aha moment. Like when you realize, okay, I can do this, I can do that. That was nice. And coming to your gestures, that is, first of all, I mean, to start with, the clarity of the speech is very good. You had a loud voice. I'm quite sure even the people in the end of the room can also hear you clearly, which is very good. Vocal variety was there. But just I would just like to say that a little more vocal variety, which will come, I mean, once you're used to this way of speaking and practicing, it will come, it will definitely come to you. But there would be, it is also, I wouldn't say it is your mistake, that's how we Indians are. We are just a little bit monotonous. So we have to have that. So people in the Western region have the habit of being a little more, what to say, there will be a lot of hand gestures, and they would like to communicate in such a manner that that animated feature of their face will be seen. So that might not result in a boring conversation. I'm not saying your conversation was boring, it was very good. But there should be a connect with the audience. The way you connect is through the animated face and things like that. And eye contact was definitely there. You were looking to the both sides of the stage. Gestures were perfect. You had a pleasant face. Like you had a very smiling face, which is good. Then, yeah, this is pretty much what I wanted to say. And to add on to what Raj said, so yesterday we met this great speaker, Jay Narayan. In fact, I remember I was the corporate speech coordinator in my college, and the same person had come to speak at my college as well. I remember guiding him that day, but I couldn't speak to him yesterday. But then one thing that he told, when you do evaluation, first you should think, are you doing it yourself? Like, are you yourself following the hand gestures, or are you, do you have the monotone in yourself before you evaluate someone? So I would always say, I always used to say this, please look into a mirror, give a speech, and then come to the stage. Thank you, and over to you, please.
With that, I want to call our third evaluator, Toastmaster Rishabh, to come and share the feedback.
Thank you, really well. Hey. Moderately minimalistic. How many of you before have seen the glass with that kind of notion that let's see it's at a moderately, that moderate full is also okay, not like how it is full or how much it is empty. So I would say speaker today, Toastmaster Atul, brought a very, very good topic here so that the audience here can think in another perception as well. A very well explained speech, I would say, and telling the importance of balancing as well. Atul was really confident when he came to the stage. He started with a bang on and immediately taking attention of all the audience present here by asking the question, by involving them at the same time. Few minutes for the speech, I would say. He asked another question to the audience. And I would say for that question, you've given a very, very small amount of time, which can be given more when you ask people that how many of you practice the minimalism. Because many of us, I think, could not think of that in this era where we try to put as much as thing for ourselves, right? Then the second thing, what I like most is you have brought a very good topic as well, that people are burdened with the information nowadays. So why not think in that way to just unburden it? So moreover, I would sum up like this, that you have given very good points to today's audience here to think, and maybe few of us maybe go and think about it and search more. That I would say. But to the matter that how your storyline or your speech can be more enhanced in a manner that somewhere I felt that your story has started with a very bang on and you engaged the audience. But the vocal variety or the tone went flat with the speech ongoing, and I would be hearing a same tone of Atul while he was moving. He was using the stage very well, but the voice was flat. So when you were having the conversation with your friend, I was listening the same tone of your friend and yours. But your friend here was standing and showing the disappointment or maybe a concern to you that, Atul, why are you doing this? You are like, you like to decorate the things and you are just eradicating all the things. Why? And then you were here showing a phase of where you again went to the thinking. So I missed that. I would say that it can be more better with the practice on that. Body language was well balanced. It was not too much or too less. It was good. Your speech can be enhanced with the means of a better vocal variety. And one more thing I missed is, since the minimalism topic is too much, it's a wide range of the things which includes minimalism. So